It cost the Jewish Zionist power structure in the United States an estimated $37 million to expel Thomas Massie from office. Now, what will it cost them to retain control of enough of the House and the Senate to prevent Donald Trump's removal from office? I don't know. But if it costs $37 million to expel just one member, and they have a lot of money. I mean, there are pots of money that they have been accumulating out there, and I'm talking about this Zionist Jewish power structure involving hundreds of millions of dollars that could be applied with the goal of preventing Donald Trump from being removed so that they can retain control of the United States government. Now, they've already got it at this point because we know that 80% of the House and the Senate is effectively paid by the lobby to do what it wants.
Please like and subscribe.
You're talking about damage done to the Persian Gulf region and its infrastructure that would require at least 10 years to recover. So you're talking about a definite global level depression, and I think we're well on our way in that direction at this point as well. One of the things that's kind of interesting is to watch Scott Bessent, and he's very sensitive to the bond market. We're now way over 5% in the 30-year bonds. This last bond sale was enormously expensive for us. We're in a lot of trouble financially, and Scott Bessent is using every conceivable trick and illusion that he has in his bag to sort of postpone the inevitable financial collapse that I think is coming. I've always looked at, because I have great confidence and trust in what Jeffrey Goodluck and Luke Gromen and others talk about. I also look at this 5% barrier on the 10-year bond, and everybody makes it very clear if you break that and you go over 5% yield on the 10-year bond, you're in uncharted territory, and that could be catastrophic for us.
You see, we're getting close to that now.
Yeah, this is the end of the Petrodollar system, which is, I think, frankly, at this stage, dead anyway, which just recycled dollars from the Persian Gulf and back into the United States. That's gone. You don't find anybody wants to invest in our debt. We sort of postponed a collapse in Japan, but doing so harmed the euro because we used the euro, of course, as a banker said to me the other day in Europe. He said, "Who are we kidding? The euro and the dollar are the same thing. It's all dollars." I said, "Oh, okay." I think we're in a very fragile set of conditions right now financially.
So let me ask you this:
I guess I don't know which one breaks first, Dan. Does it break here at home financially first, or does it blow up in the Gulf and then break here financially? I don't know.
We have a severe economic strain on us. What concerns do you have about the viability and the stability of the United States domestically?
It cost the Jewish Zionist power structure in the United States an estimated $37 million to expel Thomas Massie from office. Now, what will it cost them to retain control of enough of the House and the Senate to prevent Donald Trump's removal from office? I don't know. But if it costs $37 million to expel just one member, and they have a lot of money. I mean, there are pots of money that they have been accumulating out there, and I'm talking about this Zionist Jewish power structure involving hundreds of millions of dollars that could be applied with the goal of preventing Donald Trump from being removed so that they can retain control of the United States government. Now, they've already got it at this point because we know that 80% of the House and the Senate is effectively paid by the lobby to do what it wants. So that's a fact. You just run through, look at the amounts of money that go in there. And it's amazing. Sometimes it's a lot of money and sometimes it's not that much. But members are so greedy for money and so desperate for money to stay in office that they'll do almost anything to keep it. So I guess my assumption is that this election is probably not going to go well for Trump in particular. But the real issue is, what about this lobby? Can it retain control? That, I think it has a shot at doing so. I wouldn't write it off yet. Now, of course, that could change if the financial system crashes between now and November, and that's not an impossibility. I mean, if you listen to Ray Dalio and others, they'll say it could very easily happen. So I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. Can't know with precision when this sort of thing happens, but that could. Now, when you talk about domestic tranquility, remember we have over 50 million people inside the United States right now who are not born here. How many of those are illegal? How many of those are legal? I don't know what the exact breakdown is, but normally the numbers that you get from the federal government, depending on the administration, are lies. They're not true. So I think we have tens of millions of illegals in the country. What will most of them do? And I think it depends. It also depends on people that hold U.S. citizenship, but frankly, they're only nominally Americans. I mean, they sort of sit there and say, I'm an American. Okay. What makes you an American? Well, I have citizenship. Well, popcorn, candy, citizenship, take your pick. It's not that difficult to acquire, frankly. Not for anybody with any kind of money or influence. It's tougher for somebody without any. And a lot of people have worked very hard to get that citizenship, which is one of the reasons they're angry about illegal immigration. But my point is, we don't know how lots of groups will react. Some groups can go back to where they came from, at least until things here calm down. Other groups have nothing to go back to. And then you have the question of the rule of law. Where do we stand on that right now? How many police or policemen have left the service because they're afraid to do their jobs? They're afraid that if they do their jobs, they'll end up in front of a judge, and this judge is going to castigate them and ultimately crucify them and put them in jail when what they did was their job. How do you fix these things? Remember, if we go back to 2016, these are the things that Donald Trump was elected to do. It didn't work out very well for him because he didn't know what he was doing during his first term. Then there was the hope that if he got a second term, or in this case, the term that comes after Biden, that he may have learned something and got something right. We discovered this time around he's not even in control. He doesn't govern. It's the lobby that governs. So what could happen? I think everything from outright social disintegration, societal disintegration into chaos, to mild unrest in all of the nation's big cities. Because it's in the cities that are concentrated two kinds of people. Very high end income people, not very many, but a lot. And then at the other end, large numbers of people who have nothing. And if they can't get what they need to survive and they already have nothing, they tend to be reckless. So I can't go into any greater detail, but I think we have to accept the fact that none of this is good news. And it makes you wonder just how completely out of touch everybody in Washington is. And every time I visit the place and I talk to people, I think they're living in somewhere along the line of the 1960s or the late 80s, early 90s. They're not living in the world that is America today.
Please like and subscribe.